Hey, what's up, guys? Hopefully, everyone's having an awesome day. LL here with Etsy Entrepreneur. I just wanted to do a video today on, do you have a bad product or do you have bad SEO, bad marketing that's causing your product not to sell, and kind of how to figure that out. I often get a lot of questions on that. My products aren't selling, or they're not getting a lot of views, not getting a lot of favorites on Etsy. Do I just have terrible products? And maybe you do. Maybe your product's terrible, but a lot of times that's not the case. 9 times out of 10, you can usually narrow that down to bad photography, if I can say that word correctly, or bad SEO, bad keywords, bad marketing. That really causes your products not to sell anywhere, let alone on Etsy specifically. So the first thing that you guys need to do is, if your product is not selling and it's been on Etsy for a few months, is you need to look at the stats. You need to go into the stats section of that particular listing, which you can do. There's a little gear wheel if you go at the bottom right of the listing, and you click on that, and that's the stats for the listing. And you want to look at the stats over the lifetime of the listing to kind of see how it's doing. The two main things that you want to look at are visits and sales. And then you want to divide, you want to take your total visits and divide that by the number of sales to get the conversion rate. So if you don't have any sales, then it's, you don't have a conversion rate because it hasn't converted. So what I like to look at is those two figures to kind of figure out, is it converting, or does it need a little bit longer to see if it will convert, or is it getting enough visits to even see any of that? So to kind of break it down for you, the first thing you want to look at is visits. If your visits are low, I would say if it's been up for 2 or 3 months, you got to give it at least 2 or 3 months to see. If it's been up for 2 or 3 months and you have less than 50 visits, it's probably a keyword problem. It's probably an SEO problem. So I would think about changing the keywords, because you're just not getting enough people to look at your listing to see if it's going to convert. The goal then would be to get more visits, and then once you get your visits up, past 50, if it still doesn't convert, I would say if you hit 100 visits and it doesn't convert, then it's a product problem, or maybe a photography problem, something like that. So that's area number one. Area number two, if you do have some sales but your conversion is really low, again, you want to see how high your visits are. Your goal is to get more visits, maybe change around some keywords, and then hopefully get more sales. If you're just kind of unsure how you're doing, you don't really have a benchmark or kind of know, a good benchmark is to be at 100 visits or less per sale. So that's really the benchmark. So if 100 people look at your item, you want to get a sale for at least every 100 people. And the reason we look at visits instead of views is visit is any original unique person visiting your Etsy store, because they could visit your Etsy store and then view it multiple times. That would all count as views. So you want to look at the visits, because that's unique people. So if you're under 100, maybe you only have one sale, but you have 20 visits and on that one sale, your conversion rate's really good. So then your goal needs to be, I need to get more people to look at that item. So then it goes back to probably changing some of your keywords to see if you can get more people looking at that item. So that's what you want to shoot for. I went back and looked at some of my better selling items, and it ranges from 6 visits per sale up to 30 visits per sale. That's kind of the range that I have. My entire shop right now is on a 10-to-1 ratio. So for every 10 visits, I get a sale. To kind of give you an idea of kind of my numbers and my benchmarks that I look at. So that should hopefully help you guys out as far as knowing what to look for, and then kind of backtracking to see what you have to adjust to hopefully get more visits and more sales And like I said, if you try all that, if your visits are low, you change around your keywords, you're getting more visits and you're just not converting. I would then go change around your listing, probably photography, photos. Still doesn't work, then you probably should consider moving on from that product. It's not, for whatever reason, it's not resonating with your audience, and so you don't really want to spend more time on it. So real quick before I let you guys go, just make sure you're going over to EtsyEntrepreneur.com. I have a lot of really good resources for you if you're looking to start, build, or grow your Etsy shop. Take your Etsy shop to the next level. Get a support system in place where you can go and ask questions at any time. Get answers at any time from a real seller. I'm a real person with a real shop, currently selling on Etsy. So you can get help at any point in time, get that community, get the support, get the guidance to take your shop to the next level with advanced strategies and basic strategies. So go over there, EtsyEntrepreneur.com. Other than that, have a good rest of your day, and until next